Jake Mitchell wiped the sweat from his forehead as he looked at the job posting on his tablet. The pay was good. Too good for a simple cargo run. But his ship needed repairs and his wallet was almost empty. He had no choice. The job was simple. Enough. Pick up some diplomatic packages from Earth Station 3. Deliver them to Harmony Point in neutral space. No questions asked. No delays allowed. Jake had done dozens of runs like this before. His ship, the Lucky Strike, was not much to look at. The hull had rust spots, and the engines made strange noises. But she was fast and reliable. Most importantly, she was his. Jake signed the contract and headed to the pickup point. The loading dock was busy with workers moving cargo containers. A woman in a clean uniform walked up to him. She had the look of someone who worked for the government. "You Mitchell?" she asked. "That's me," Jake replied. "Where's my cargo?" The woman pointed to 3 metal containers. They were sealed tight with warning labels all over them. Jake could not read what the labels said. They were written in some alien language. "Environmental suits required for handling," the woman said. "The containers have special atmosphere inside. Don't open them." Jake nodded. He had carried stranger things before. The containers looked heavy, but his ship's loading system could handle them. Within an hour, everything was loaded and secured in his cargo bay. Jake ran through his pre-flight checks. Everything looked normal. He filed his flight plan and requested permission to leave. Soon the Lucky Strike was moving away from Earth, Station 3, and heading for the jump point. The trip to Harmony Point would take 3 days through hyperspace. Jake settled into his pilot's chair and activated the autopilot. The ship jumped into hyperspace with a familiar shudder. For the first 2 days, everything went smoothly. Jake spent his time reading, eating, and checking the ship's systems. The cargo containers sat quietly in the bay. No problems at all. On the 3rd day, Jake woke up to warning alarms. The ship's computer was flashing red alerts all over the control panel. Something was wrong with the environmental system. Jake hurried to the engineering section. The air recycling unit was making loud grinding noises. Smoke was coming from one of the filter units. He grabbed a fire extinguisher and put out the small fire. The damage was not too bad, but the system would need repairs before they reached Harmony Point. Jake got his tools and started working. He had fixed this kind of problem before. As he worked, Jake noticed something strange. The cargo bay sensors were showing unusual readings. The atmosphere in the bay was different than normal. It was like the air itself had changed. Jake finished the repairs and decided to check the cargo bay. He put on his work suit and opened the bay door. A thick, strange-smelling mist filled the air. It was coming from one of the diplomatic containers. The container had a small crack in its side. Whatever was inside was leaking out. Jake moved closer to examine the damage. The mist made his eyes water and his skin tingle. Through the mist, Jake saw something that made him stop breathing. There was a person in the cargo bay. Someone was moving around near the damaged container. Jake stepped forward carefully. The mist was so thick he could barely see. As he got closer, he realized the person was not human. The figure was tall and had strange markings on their skin. The alien was doing something with equipment Jake had never seen before. Strange lights were flashing, and there was a low humming sound. The alien seemed to be performing some kind of ritual or ceremony. Jake tried to back away quietly. He did not want to disturb whatever was happening, but he stepped on a loose piece of metal. It made a loud clang that echoed through the cargo bay. The alien spun around fast. Jake found himself looking at a female with pale blue skin and silver hair. She had been in the middle of changing clothes. She was mostly naked. For a moment, they just stared at each other. Jake's face turned red and he started to say sorry. But before he could speak, the alien woman reached for something at her side. She pulled out a weapon that looked like a pistol but with glowing parts. She pointed it straight at Jake's chest. Her eyes were angry and shocked at the same time. "Who are you?" she demanded in perfect English. "Why are you here?" Jake raised his hands slowly. "I'm the pilot. This is my ship. I was just checking on the cargo." The alien woman kept her weapon pointed at him. "You have seen me in the sacred state. This is forbidden. You must answer for this crime." Jake did not understand what she meant. He just knew he was in serious trouble. The woman's finger was on the trigger of her weapon. One wrong move and he would be dead. "I'm sorry," Jake said. "I didn't mean to see anything. There was damage to your container. I was just trying to help." The woman looked at the cracked container. She could see the mist still leaking out. Her expression changed from anger to something like worry. "The purification chamber was breached," she said quietly. "The sacred mist has mixed with your ship's air." She lowered her weapon slightly but did not put it away. "What is your name, human?" "Jake Mitchell," he replied. "Look, I don't know what's going on here. I'm just supposed to deliver these containers to Harmony Point. No questions asked." The woman was quiet for a long moment. She seemed to be thinking about something important. Finally, she spoke again. "My name is Luna Vex. I am a warrior of the Zephyrian Empire. What has happened here cannot be undone." Jake did not like the sound of that. "What do you mean?" Luna looked at him with serious eyes. "In my culture, to see someone in the sacred purification state creates a spiritual bond. You are now responsible for my honor." "I don't understand," Jake said. Luna raised her weapon again. "It means your life has just become very complicated, Jake Mitchell." Jake stared at Luna as she finished getting dressed. Her clothes looked like a mix between a military uniform and ceremonial robes. Everything was made from materials he had never seen before. "So what happens now?" Jake asked. His hands were still raised and Luna still had her weapon ready. "Now we go to Harmony Point as planned," Luna said. "But when we arrive, you will face judgment from both our peoples." Jake felt his stomach drop. "Judgment for what? I didn't do anything wrong." Luna's expression softened slightly. "You speak truth. This was an accident. But accident or not, the sacred law has been broken. There will be consequences." She finally put her weapon away. Jake lowered his hands and let out a breath he did not know he was holding. "Tell me about this sacred law," Jake said. "Maybe we can figure something out." Luna walked to the damaged container and began examining it. "Among my people, the purification ritual is holy. It prepares warriors for important battles or negotiations. To be seen during this time creates a bond between souls." Jake watched her work. "What kind of bond?" "The kind that can only be broken by death, exile, or marriage," Luna replied without looking at him. Jake almost choked. "Marriage? You're talking about marriage?" "It is one of the 3 options under Zephyrian law," Luna said calmly. "The other 2 are less pleasant." Jake rubbed his face with his hands. This was not how he had planned to spend his week. "Look, I'm sure we can work this out. I'll explain to whoever needs to hear it that this was an accident." Luna stopped working and looked at him. "You do not understand. My people take these matters very seriously. Honor is everything to us. Without honor, a Zephyrian is nothing." "But you said it yourself. This was an accident." "Accidents can still have consequences," Luna said. "The sacred mist has already begun to work on both of us. Can you not feel it?" Now that she mentioned it, Jake did feel strange. His skin was still tingling and his thoughts seemed clearer than usual. "What's happening to me?" "The mist creates a connection between minds," Luna explained. "It is part of the purification process. By breathing it together, we have shared something that cannot be undone." Jake felt a panic rising in his chest. There has to be a way to fix this. Luna finished her work on the container and turned to face him fully. "Perhaps. But that decision is not ours to make. The authorities at Harmony Point will decide our fate." The rest of the trip passed in uncomfortable silence. Jake tried to focus on flying his ship, but he kept thinking about what Luna had said. Marriage, exile, or death. None of those options sounded good to him. Luna spent most of her time in the cargo bay, doing things Jake did not understand. Sometimes he heard her speaking in her own language. It sounded like she was reporting to someone. When they finally reached Harmony Point Station, Jake was relieved. The station was huge, with ships from dozens of different species docked around. It's surely someone here could sort out this mess. Jake requested docking permission and was surprised when a priority clearance came through immediately. They were directed to a special diplomatic bay that was heavily guarded. "They know we are coming," Luna said as she joined Jake in the cockpit. "How is that possible?" Luna pointed to a device on her wrist. "My people have been monitoring my condition. When the sacred mist was released, they knew something had happened." Jake guided his ship into the docking bay. Through the windows, he could see human and alien officials waiting for them. This was going to be interesting. As soon as the ship was secured, the bay doors opened and people began boarding. The first person through was a human woman in a diplomatic uniform. Behind her came several aliens that looked like Luna, but wearing military armor. "I am Ambassador Kira Stone," the human woman said as she entered the cockpit. "Mr. Mitchell, you are in serious trouble." "So everyone keeps telling me," Jake replied. One of the armored aliens spoke to Luna in their language. Luna responded quickly, pointing at Jake several times. The alien's expression grew more serious with each word. "What are they saying?" Jake asked. Ambassador Stone looked uncomfortable. "General Thane is asking Luna to confirm what happened. Her biomonitors recorded everything." "Biomonitors? All Zephyrian warriors wear them," Stone explained. "They track vital signs, brain activity, and spiritual contamination levels." Luna finished speaking with General Thane. The general looked at Jake like he was studying a strange bug. "The readings are clear," General Thane said in accented English. "A sacred bond has been formed. This human is now spiritually connected to warrior Luna." Jake felt like the walls were closing in on him. "Look, I understand this is important to your culture, but I'm just a cargo pilot. I don't know anything about spiritual bonds or sacred laws." "Ignorance is not an excuse," General Thane replied coldly. Ambassador Stone stepped between them. "General, perhaps we should discuss this in a more formal setting. There may be diplomatic solutions we have not considered." "Diplomatic solutions?" General Thane asked. Stone nodded. "This situation, while unusual, might actually present an opportunity. The peace negotiations between our peoples have been difficult. Perhaps this incident could serve as a symbol of cooperation." Jake did not like where this was going. "A symbol? Think about it," Stone continued. "A human and a Zephyrian, bound together by circumstance, choosing to work through their differences. It could be exactly what both our peoples need to see." General Thane considered this. "You suggest they complete the marriage bond?" "I suggest we explore all options," Stone said carefully. Luna had been quiet during this exchange. Now she spoke. "Up. I request time to speak with the human privately. I must understand his thoughts on this matter." General Thane did not look happy, but he nodded. 1 hour. Then we will hear your decision." After the others left, Jake and Luna sat in his ship's small common area. The silence stretched between them. "You do not wish to marry me," Luna said finally. It was not a question. Jake looked at her. She was beautiful in an alien way, with her blue skin and silver hair. "But this whole situation was crazy. It's not personal," Jake said. "I just don't know you, and I never planned on getting married, especially not like this." Luna nodded. "Marriage among my people is different than yours. It is not about personal feelings. It is about duty and honor." "But what do you want?" Jake asked. "Forget about duty and honor for a minute. What do you actually want?" Luna was quiet for a long time. "I have never been asked that question before," she said finally. Jake waited for her to continue. "I want to serve my people well," Luna said slowly. "I want to bring honor to my family name. But I also want—" She paused. "I want to understand why humans are so different from us." "Different how?" "You ask what I want. Zephyrians do not think this way. We think about what we must do, what is required, what brings honor." Jake leaned back in his chair. "Maybe that's the problem. Maybe both our peoples need to learn something from each other." Luna looked at him with curiosity. "What do you mean?" "You could teach us about honor and duty. We could teach you about choice and personal freedom." For the first time since this mess started, Luna smiled. That is a very human way of thinking. Is that good or bad? I am beginning to think it might be good, Luna replied. Jake and Luna were still talking when the alarm started screaming. Red lights flashed throughout the station, and an automated voice began announcing emergency procedures. All personnel to emergency stations. This is not a drill. Unknown ships approaching. All personnel to emergency stations. Jake jumped up and ran to his ship's controls. On the scanner, he could see several fast ships heading straight for Harmony Point. They were not answering any radio calls. Luna appeared beside him, now wearing her armor and carrying several weapons. "Those are Zephyrian attack ships," she said grimly. "Your people are attacking the station. Not my people, the Pure Flame faction. They oppose any contact with humans." Luna checked her weapons. They must have learned about our situation. The station shook as the first energy blasts hit the outer hull. Through the docking bay windows, Jake could see explosions lighting up space. Ambassador Stone's voice came over the ship's radio. "All diplomatic personnel to secure areas. We are under attack by Zephyrian extremists." Jake felt anger rising in his chest. "They're attacking because of what happened between us?" Luna nodded. "The Pure Flame believes that humans corrupt our people. They will see my spiritual bonding to you as proof of their beliefs." Another explosion rocked the station. This one was much closer. Jake could hear people shouting in the corridors outside his ship. "We need to get out of here," Jake said. "No," Luna replied firmly. "They are here because of me. I will not run from this fight." Jake looked at her in disbelief. "You want to fight an entire attack fleet?" "I want to protect innocent people," Luna said. Human and Zephyrian alike. The docking bay's emergency doors began to close as atmosphere leaked from several holes in the hull. Jake realized they would be trapped if they did not move soon. "Fine," Jake said. "But we do this my way, human style." Luna looked confused. "What does that mean?" Jake was already powering up his ship's systems. "It means we don't follow the rules." The Lucky Strike lifted off from the docking platform just as another explosion tore through the bay. Jake flew the ship out through the closing emergency doors with only meters to spare. Outside the station, the battle was already intense. Several Zephyrian attack ships were firing on the station while human defense ships tried to fight them off, but the attackers were faster and better armed. "There," Luna pointed to one of the attack ships. "That is Commander Sek's vessel. He leads the Pure Flame forces." Jake studied the enemy ships. They were flying in perfect formation, following standard military tactics. "They fight like soldiers." "Of course, they are soldiers." Jake grinned. "Then let's show them how pirates fight." Instead of engaging the enemy ships directly, Jake flew his small cargo ship toward the station's communication array. The Pure Flame ships ignored him, thinking he was trying to escape. "What are you doing?" Luna asked. "Those ships are coordinating. Their attacks through encrypted signals," Jake explained. "If we can disrupt their communications, they'll have to fight individually instead of as a group." Jake brought his ship close to the communication array and used his ship's tractor beam to grab one of the large antenna dishes. Then he flew straight at the lead attack ship. "This is insane," Luna said. But she was smiling. The enemy ship tried to dodge, but Jake had timed it perfectly. The antenna dish smashed into the ship's communication equipment, sending sparks flying across space. Immediately, the other attack ships began flying less coordinated patterns. Their perfect formation broke apart as they lost contact with their leader. "Clever," Luna admitted. "But now they will all try to kill us." Jake was already moving toward the next target. "Let them try." What followed was the strangest space battle anyone at Harmony Point had ever seen. Jake used his ship like a tool instead of a weapon. He grabbed debris and threw it at enemy ships. He used the station's structure to hide behind, popping out to attack when the enemies were not expecting it. Luna helped by using her knowledge of Zephyrian ships to find their weak points. Together they disabled 3 more attack ships without firing a single shot. But their luck could not last forever. Commander Sek's ship had repaired its communications and was now hunting them with serious intent. "He's faster than us," Jake said as the enemy ship closed in. And his weapons are much better. Luna was quiet for a moment. Then she stood up from her seat. I have an idea, but you will not like it. What is it? Let him capture us. Jake stared at her. That's your plan? Get captured? Trust me, Luna said. Commander Sec will want to take me alive. He needs to prove that I have been corrupted by human contact. The enemy ship fired a capture beam that locked onto the Lucky Strike. Jake's ship was pulled into the larger vessel's docking bay. I hope you know what you're doing, Jake muttered. Armed Zephyrian soldiers surrounded Jake's ship as soon as it landed. Commander Sec himself came to meet them, flanked by guards in heavy armor. Warrior Luna, Sec said coldly, you have brought shame upon our people. Luna stepped out of the ship with her head held high. I have brought nothing but honor to our people. Honor? Sec laughed. You have bonded with a human. You have allowed their weakness to infect your spirit. Jake started to protest, but Luna held up a hand to stop him. You speak of weakness, Commander Sec, Luna said, but this human has just defeated 3 of your ships using only his wit and courage. Where is the weakness in that? Sec's expression grew angry. Tricks and deception, not true warrior skills. Victory is victory, Luna replied. The humans may fight differently than us, but they win their battles. Jake realized what Luna was doing. She was challenging Sec's beliefs by using his own warrior culture against him. Besides, Luna continued, I have not been corrupted. I have been enlightened. This human has shown me that there are many ways to bring honor to one's people. Sec drew his weapon. Enough. You will both die for this blasphemy. But before he could fire, alarms started sounding throughout his ship. One of his officers ran up to him. Commander, the human defense fleet has arrived. We are outnumbered 3-1. Sec looked confused. The battle had been going in their favor just minutes ago. Luna smiled. While you were focused on capturing us, the humans called for reinforcements. They used our attack as a distraction to position their ships. Jake grinned. Sometimes the best strategy is to let your enemy think they're winning. Through the ship's windows, they could see human warships surrounding the Pure Flame fleet. The extremists were trapped. You have lost, Commander Sec, Luna said. Surrender now and your crews will be treated with honor. Sec looked around at his trapped fleet, then at Jake and Luna. His shoulders slumped in defeat. How? He asked quietly. By working together, Luna replied. By combining Zephyrian honor with human innovation. As Sec's ship surrendered, Jake found himself looking at Luna with new respect. She had turned a desperate situation into a victory using both courage and intelligence. That was amazing, Jake said. Luna looked back at him. You showed me a new way of fighting, a way that saves lives instead of simply taking them. So what happens now? Luna took a deep breath. Now I ask you properly. Jake Mitchell, will you marry me? Jake blinked in surprise. Right now? Right now. In front of witnesses from both our peoples. Let them see that humans and Zephyrians can choose to unite instead of fight. Jake looked around at the defeated extremists, the arriving human ships, and Luna standing before him with hope in her eyes. Yeah, he said with a grin. I think I will. The news of Jake and Luna's engagement spread through Harmony Point Station faster than wildfire. Within hours, reporters from a dozen different species were requesting interviews. Jake had never seen so many cameras in his life. Ambassador Stone found them in the station's medical bay, where Dr. Lisa Chang was running compatibility tests. The doctor was a small woman with kind eyes and a serious expression. The biological scans look good, Dr. Chang reported. The sacred mist has actually improved both of your immune systems. Whatever was in those containers, it seems designed to help different species work together. Jake raised an eyebrow. You mean this was planned? Dr. Chang looked uncomfortable. Not planned exactly, but the diplomatic materials you were carrying included genetic samples from both species. Someone has been studying human Zephyrian compatibility for months. Luna frowned. Who ordered these studies? Ambassador Stone cleared her throat. That's Classified. But I can tell you that some people on both sides have been hoping for exactly this kind of breakthrough. Jake felt a chill run down his spine. You're saying we were set up? I'm saying the universe sometimes works in mysterious ways, Stone replied carefully. Over the next few days, Jake learned just how complicated an interspecies wedding could be. Both cultures had completely different ideas about marriage ceremonies. Zephyrian marriages were military affairs. The bride and groom had to prove their combat skills, declare their loyalty to each other's families, and exchange weapons as symbols of trust. Luna explained that she would need to give Jake one of her ceremonial blades. Human marriages were more personal. Jake's friend Captain Roy Barnes arrived from Earth with Jake's father's military dress uniform and a collection of Earth traditions that confused the Zephyrians. You want to exchange rings? Luna asked as Roy explained human customs. What is the purpose of jewelry in a warrior bonding? It's a symbol, Roy explained. It shows everyone that you belong to each other. Luna considered this. Among my people, we use scars for this purpose. Jake winced. Maybe we can compromise on the rings. The wedding preparations revealed how different their cultures really were. Zephyrians planned everything according to strict military protocols. Humans seemed to make up traditions as they went along. Your people are very strange, General Thane told Jake as they discussed ceremony details. You have no formal structure, no clear chain of command. How do you accomplish anything? Jake thought about this. We adapt. When something doesn't work, we try something else. But without proper order, there is chaos. Sometimes chaos works better than order, Jake replied. Look at how we won the battle against Commander Sek. We didn't follow any rules. General Thane was quiet for a moment. This is true. Your methods were effective. As the wedding date approached, Jake found himself spending more time with Luna. They took walks through the station's gardens and talked about their different worlds. Tell me about Earth, Luna said one evening as they sat by an artificial waterfall. Jake described blue skies and green forests, cities full of people and oceans that stretched to the horizon. Luna listened with fascination. It sounds beautiful, she said. Very different from Zephyr Prime. What's your world like? Luna's eyes grew, distant. Mountains of crystal that sing in the wind, cities built into cliffsides. The sky is always purple and we have 3 moons. Sounds amazing. Maybe we can visit sometime. Luna looked surprised. You would want to see my world? Of course. We're going to be married. I want to know everything about you. This seemed to please Luna more than Jake expected. Zephyrian males do not usually show interest in their mate's opinions or experiences. Well, I'm not Zephyrian, Jake said with a smile. As they talked, Jake began to understand how different Luna's life had been. Zephyrian society was built around duty and honor. Individual wants and feelings were considered selfish. I have never been asked what I wanted, Luna admitted. From childhood, my path was chosen for me. Warrior training, military service, eventual assignment to a breeding program. Jake felt angry on her behalf. That doesn't sound like much of a life. It is the life of service, Luna said. It brings honor to my family. But what about happiness? What about love? Luna looked confused. These are human concepts. Zephyrians do not marry for love. Maybe they should, Jake said quietly. The night before the wedding, Jake couldn't sleep. He walked through the station's corridors thinking about everything that had happened. A week ago, he had been a simple cargo pilot. Now he was about to become the first human to marry a Zephyrian. He found Luna in the observation deck, looking out at the stars. She was wearing a simple robe instead of her armor, and her silver hair was loose around her shoulders. Can't sleep either? Jake asked as he joined her. Luna shook her head. I am nervous. Tomorrow will change everything. Are you having second thoughts? Luna was quiet for a long moment. Among my people, marriage is a contract. A joining of families and resources. There is no ceremony for personal feelings. What are you saying? Luna turned to look at him. I am saying that I do not know how to be a human wife. I only know how to be a Zephyrian warrior. Jake moved closer to her. You don't have to stop being a warrior, but maybe you can be other things too. What other things? Jake took her hand. It was warm and surprisingly soft. A partner, a friend, someone who chooses to be with me because she wants to, not because she has to. Luna looked down at their joined hands. This feeling I have when you touch me. Is this what humans call love? Jake's heart skipped a beat. What does it feel like? Like I want to protect you, not because of duty, but because the thought of losing you causes pain in my chest. Jake smiled. Yeah, that sounds like love to me. Luna squeezed his hand. Then yes, I choose to love you, Jake Mitchell. The next morning brought unexpected visitors. Captain Roy Barnes woke Jake with urgent news. We've got a problem, Roy said. Ships are arriving from both Earth and Zephyr Prime. Official delegations. Jake groaned. Please tell me they're here to celebrate. Some are, others. Roy paused. Let's just say not everyone is happy about this wedding. Luna appeared in the doorway, already dressed in her ceremonial armor. The Pure Council has sent representatives. They oppose the marriage. Can they stop it? Jake asked. They can try, Luna replied. But the ceremony has been approved by both governments. Unless they can prove we are not acting of our own free will. Ambassador Stone arrived with more news. The Earth Senate has sent observers, and there are reporters from every major news network in this sector of space. Jake felt overwhelmed. This was supposed to be a simple wedding. Nothing about. This situation has been simple, Stone pointed out. Your marriage is being seen as a symbol of human Zephyrian cooperation. The whole galaxy is watching. As Jake got dressed in his father's uniform, he wondered what his dad would think about all this. The old man had been a simple soldier, fighting in Earth's colonial wars. He never could have imagined his son marrying an alien warrior. Dr. Chang appeared with final test results. The compatibility tests are complete. Genetically, you two are more similar than we expected. It's like your species were designed to work together. Designed by who? Luna asked. Dr. Chang shrugged. That's a question for philosophers and scientists to argue about. All I know is that the sacred mist has created a real biological bond between you. Your brain patterns are starting to synchronize. Jake didn't know what that meant, but it sounded important. As the ceremony time approached, Jake found himself thinking about everything that had led to this moment. A simple cargo run had changed his entire life. Sometimes the best things happened when you weren't looking for them. Luna appeared beside him, beautiful in her ceremonial armor and carrying the traditional weapons of a Zephyrian bride. Ready? She asked. Jake straightened his uniform and took her arm. Let's go make history. The wedding ceremony was held aboard Captain Barnes's ship, the Defender. The main cargo bay had been decorated with flowers from Earth and crystal formations from Zephyr Prime. Representatives from both species filled the space, along with reporters and cameras from across the galaxy. Jake stood at the altar wearing his father's dress uniform, feeling more nervous than he had ever been in his life. The uniform was a little tight, but it made him feel connected to his family's military tradition. Luna walked down the aisle between rows of seated guests. She wore her ceremonial armor, polished to a mirror shine, and carried her plasma pistol openly as Zephyrian tradition required. Her silver hair was braided with small gems that caught the light. Ambassador Stone stood between them, holding both human and Zephyrian marriage texts. We gathered today to witness something unprecedented in galactic history, she began. As Stone spoke about unity and cooperation, Jake noticed movement outside the ship's windows. Several more ships had arrived and were taking positions around the Defender. They were not part of the wedding party. Luna saw them too. Her hand moved slightly toward her weapon. Unknown ships, identify yourselves, came Captain Barnes's voice over the ship's intercom. A harsh voice answered, This is Commander Vex of the Pure Council Fleet. We demand you surrender the corrupted warrior Luna Vex immediately. Jake's blood ran cold. The Pure Council was even more extreme than the Pure Flame faction they had defeated earlier. They are Luna's own family. General Thane said quietly. Commander Vex is her father. Luna's face went pale, but she did not move from Jake's side. Ambassador Stone continued the ceremony, but everyone could feel the tension rising. Outside, the Pure Council ships were moving into attack positions. Do you, Luna Vex, take Jake Mitchell as your bonded mate, to fight beside him in all battles, to share honor and shame equally? Luna's voice was steady. I do. Do you, Jake Mitchell, take Luna Vex as your bonded mate to stand with her against all enemies, to protect her honor as your own? I do, Jake replied. Just as Ambassador Stone began to pronounce them married, the ship shook under weapons fire. The Pure Council had opened fire on the wedding party. Battle stations, Captain Barnes shouted over the intercom. Chaos erupted in the cargo bay as guests ran for cover. Jake and Luna found themselves back-to-back in the center of the room as explosions rocked the ship. Well, Jake said as he drew his sidearm, this is definitely the most exciting wedding I've ever been to. Luna had her plasma pistol ready and was scanning for targets. Zephyrian weddings always include combat trials. This is just more literal than usual. The ship's hull was breached near the front of the cargo bay. Armed soldiers in Pure Council armor began pouring through the hole. They were here to stop the wedding by force, protect the couple, General Thane shouted as his warriors moved to intercept the attackers. But Jake and Luna were not content to hide behind others. They charged forward together, fighting side by side with perfect coordination. Jake used his human unpredictability, ducking and weaving while firing at unexpected angles. Luna provided precise covering fire, her shots perfectly timed to protect. Jake's wild movements. They fight well together, General Thane observed as he watched them work. Yeah, they do, Captain Barnes agreed as he coordinated the ship's defense. The battle was fierce but brief. The Pure Council soldiers were skilled, but they had not expected the wedding guests to fight back so effectively. Human and Zephyrian forces worked together seamlessly, inspired by Jake and Luna's example. When the last attacker was subdued, Commander Vex himself appeared at the breach. He was an older Zephyrian with scars covering his face and arms. His eyes burned with fanatic fury. Daughter, he said coldly, you will come with me now and cleanse yourself of this human contamination. Luna stood protectively in front of Jake. I will not. I have chosen my path freely. You have been corrupted. Your mind is poisoned by human weakness. Jake stepped forward. There's nothing weak about choosing love over hate. Commander Vex laughed harshly. Love? You speak of love as if it matters in the face of genetic purity. Genetic purity? Ambassador Stone had joined them, looking angry. Is that what this is about? Humans are a plague, Commander Vex declared. They spread their chaos and emotion wherever they go. They will corrupt our entire species if we allow mixing. General Thane spoke up. Commander Vex, you forget yourself. Luna has brought great honor to our people through her actions. Honor? Vex spat. She is bonded with an inferior species. That was too much for Jake. Inferior? We just fought off your attack using teamwork and tactics. Your superior soldiers are unconscious on my deck. Luna placed a hand on Jake's arm to calm him. Then she looked directly at her father. You speak of purity and superiority, she said. But I have learned something important from this human. True strength comes not from isolation but from unity. Not from rigid thinking but from adaptation. You speak heresy. I speak truth. Luna's voice grew stronger. Our species has been stagnant for centuries. We follow the same patterns, fight the same wars, achieve the same limited victories. Humans offer us something new. Chaos and disorder. Innovation. And growth. Luna gestured to the mixed group of humans and Zephyrians around them. Look how well we fought together. Neither species could have achieved this victory alone. Commander Vex drew his weapon. Enough. You will come with me or die as a traitor. Before he could fire, Captain Barnes's voice came over the intercom again. Commander Vex, you are surrounded by 3 human battle groups and a Zephyrian honor fleet. General Thane has declared your actions illegal under military law. Through the windows they could see dozens of ships surrounding the Pure Council forces. The extremists were vastly outnumbered. "Surrender now, and you will be treated with honor," General Thane announced. "Continue this attack and you will be destroyed." Commander Vex looked around at the overwhelming force arrayed against him. His shoulders slumped in defeat. "This is not over," he said quietly. "Yes, it is," Luna replied. "The old ways are ending. Father, a new age is beginning." With the attack over, Ambassador Stone quickly completed the wedding ceremony. "By the power invested in me by both the Earth Alliance and the Zephyrian Empire, I pronounce you husband and wife." Jake and Luna kissed as cameras flashed around them. The image would appear on news broadcasts across the galaxy within hours. The celebration that followed was unlike anything anyone had ever seen. Humans and Zephyrians danced together, shared food, and told stories of their different worlds. The language barriers didn't seem to matter. Everyone was caught up in the joy of the moment. "So what happens now?" Jake asked Luna as they watched. "Their guests celebrate." "Now we build something new," Luna replied. "Ambassador Stone has offered us positions as cultural liaison officers. We would travel between human and Zephyrian space, helping our peoples understand each other." Jake liked the sound of that. "Better than hauling cargo." "Much better," Luna agreed. Captain Barnes approached them with drinks and a smile. "Congratulations, you two. You've just made galactic history." "It feels pretty strange," Jake admitted. "The best adventures usually do," Barnes replied. As the party continued into the night, Jake and Luna slipped away to the ship's observation deck. They stood together looking out at the stars, thinking about their future. "Are you happy?" Jake asked. Luna considered the question seriously. "Yes. For the first time in my life I am truly happy. And it is because I chose to be." Jake put his arm around her. "That's all anyone can ask for." "What about you? Do you regret any of this?" Jake thought about his old life as a cargo pilot, flying alone through space with no real purpose except making money. Then he looked at Luna, this amazing alien warrior, who had chosen to love him despite their differences. "Not for a second," he said. 6 months later, Jake and Luna were aboard a new ship provided by both governments. They traveled from system to system, helping establish trade agreements and cultural exchange programs between humans and Zephyrians. Their marriage had indeed become a symbol of cooperation. Other interspecies couples had followed their example. The galaxy was becoming a more connected place. Luna had learned to appreciate human concepts like personal choice and individual freedom. Jake had gained an understanding of honor and duty from Zephyrian culture. Together, they were building bridges between worlds. Their honeymoon had been a joint mission, hunting down the remaining Pure Council extremists. As Luna had predicted, fighting together turned out to be very romantic for a warrior couple. "You know," Jake said one evening as they flew toward their next assignment, "I never did find out what was really in those diplomatic containers." Luna smiled mysteriously. "Genetic samples, compatibility studies, cultural analysis reports. So we really were set up, perhaps. Or perhaps the universe simply wanted to bring us together." Jake laughed. "Either way, I'm glad that cargo container leaked." "So am I," Luna replied. "Although I still say you should have knocked before entering the cargo bay." "Hey," I thought, "it was my ship." "It was, but a gentleman always announces himself." Jake grinned and pulled Luna close. "I'll remember that for next time." "There will not be a next time," Luna said firmly. "You are stuck with me now." "Promise?" "I promise." Outside, their ship, the stars wheeled slowly through space, carrying two cultures toward a future neither could